We're going to have a look now at the front page of the Daily Telegraph, Sydney's Daily Telegraph, because there is a big exclusive story on the front page of the Daily Telegraph from John Rolfe, the national political editor. Welfare drug takers $65,000 rehab. It says every welfare recipient found with drugs in their system under the federal government's proposed testing trial will be eligible for up to $65,000 in taxpayer-funded rehabilitation, the Daily Telegraph can reveal. The government believes that the whopping rehab figure, which forms part of a $10 million treatment fund, is necessary to win support for the trial from Balance of Power Senator Jackie Lambie. Now, Genevieve, we've seen Jackie Lambie chop and change her position on this issue, but interesting the headline on that story, wasted. What do you think? Do you think that the general public will think that $65,000 for rehab for people under this program will be taxpayer money wasted, or do you think that they'll think that it's a good idea?
Well, again, it's a pretty polarising issue, but I think what's going to be really important is that if that $65,000 I suppose, this rehabilitation programs are forced upon these people, or they're taken up in goodwill. There's no point throwing that amount of money around if people aren't actually invested in seeking out the rehabilitation and the treatment and getting better. Because if we're just forcing these people into these programs and they have no real intention of getting clean or getting their life back on track, then it is money wasted. But again, there's no point punishing people who are found to have drugs in their system that are on welfare cards with no recourse for them actually getting any treatment. So it will remain to be seen how it is rolled out and the particulars of it, but it's certainly not wasted yet.
Yeah, interesting points you make. Scott, what do you think of Jackie Lambie, the way that she's played this particular issue? We saw her come out on Sunday and say that she was going to support this, then she changed her mind today. She's a tough one to negotiate with for the federal government, that's for sure.
I think you're seeing Jackie Lambie 2.0 here, Matt. Very different from her first incarnation when she came into Parliament. Obviously, she left because of the citizenship issues. She's back in here. She's happy to be a player and keen to deal and negotiate with the government. We saw them get their tax cuts through Parliament because of Jackie Lambie, with no promises, but so magically and miraculously the Tasmanian public housing debt gets wiped out as part of that. Now you see her make a statement on the weekend about supporting it. This morning, no, I'm not going to do it unless there's this backing for some sort of rehab. There's not enough out there at the moment. Can I say, I think that a lot of people look at this figure and say, wow, is it worth doing it if we're going to give someone or spend $60,000, $70,000 to do that? I think there'll be a lot of concern out there in the community. I think talkback will run hot. Another great story by Ben English in the Daily Telly tomorrow, because I think this story will really resonate with people in terms of, hey, do we really want to pay someone this amount of money to try to get this kind of outcome?
Yeah, I think you're right about that. I think there'll be plenty of feedback coming on the back of this story tomorrow. Interesting with Jackie Lambie too. She has a personal interest in this particular story. Her son has had his own, battled his own demons with drug addiction. So it'll be interesting to see where this finishes up in the wash-up.